this one. Oh, well, nobody. Yeah, this one.
Same room, huh?
Hi, I'm Karen Hubbs.
Hi, Karen. How are you? I thought it was going to be Charlene.
No, I'm the second level supervisor, so I thought I would introduce myself. So what we wanted to do was just quickly discuss your visitation with your daughter.
Okay.
And last week reported that there was concerns because you were discussing legal stuff with your 9-year-old. So I wanted to just kind of clarify that at this point that we're still supervising the visits.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to be, was it Wednesdays, hour and a half?
Right.
Yeah, the time's up. So because we're supervising, we need to make sure that the visit goes well and that your daughter enjoys her contact with you and you discuss things that are appropriate for a 9-year-old.
Right.
So we just want to be clear that you really should not be discussing the lawsuit, anything family court related, anything that's going to upset her or that's adult material that a 9-year-old doesn't need to be aware of or involved in. So I believe she did have a reaction to you discussing the lawsuit.
What kind of reaction?
She was kicking the seat, she was cursing, she was yelling. She just seemed very out of sorts.
What was the content of her reaction as opposed to all those actions?
It was after the visit.
Right.
No, I'm saying the content. Was she saying anything? Was she referring to something or what?
Specifically, I don't know what she was saying, but this is her reaction when she gets upset during her visit.
How do you know there's a correlation between that behavior and what we were discussing?
It's an assumption, but our observation was that you were discussing quite adult content to a 9-year-old.
Really?
And
discussing court, the lawsuit and court matters as adult content?
Absolutely,
Uh-huh.
yes. So that's our opinion.
So basically you are telling me that I should not discuss the lawsuit with her?
Yes, it's exactly what I'm saying.
You're telling me that, okay. I guess I would ask, by what authority do you have to tell me not to discuss a lawsuit with my co-plaintiff who is also suing the institution?
Because she's a child, and if you want to discuss legalities, probably I would recommend you talk to her attorney.
Well, you're citing that you're going to do it just because. I'm just saying, do you think you have an authority? I can't speak about
Yes.
court matters with my daughter.
If you disagree, you can go to court.
I'm just asking you what the authority based in law.
Because we were ordered by the court to supervise, unsupervised, or monitor in contact with your daughter at our discretion.
I see.
Our discretion is, we don't believe you should be discussing adult matters with your daughter.
Okay, so you really can't cite any particular statute or anything that says...
No, I cannot. Again, we're given the authority, so if you disagree with our authority, you have the right to contact her attorney. Apparently you don't have your attorney,
I'm going pro se.
Right, so you can bring a petition to the court to discuss your disagreement with our discretion.
I see. Well, what harm do you suppose speaking to her about these court matters would be?
She's 9 years old.
You know, she's 9 years old, but what harm do you suppose would come to her about speaking?
She doesn't need to know that you have a lawsuit that you're bringing to the judge, that you're saying we're doing something against your civil rights, against her civil rights. You have the perfect right to file any petition you want. It hasn't been heard yet.
But I understand what you're saying, but you're not telling me what harm would come to her. You're saying I don't need to.
It's so upsetting to her. She has a reaction to it. She gets upset with
She does not want to
the
speak.
point that you're saying, we're going to court, we're going to tell the judge that, I don't even know what you said, civil rights or that.
You haven't read the lawsuit? You haven't heard the complaint?
I have read the lawsuit, but...
Have you?
No, I have not.
Karen's saying that she doesn't know exactly what your words were with Anya, other than you were talking about the lawsuit.
I was talking about the
lawsuit.
lawsuit.
And it's not an appropriate content for your visit. It's not a good topic.
All right,
She's
well,
9 years
I've
old.
asked her, but what harm would come to Anya
It upsets Anya. It's
by speaking about the
upsetting
lawsuit?
about adult things, lawsuits, family court. Anya has reported to me that these topics are upsetting to her.
Well, let me ask you a question. If she wanted to have some food and I said no, and that was upsetting to her, does that mean that I have to give her the food that she wants?
No.
Okay, so some things can be
Okay,
upsetting
all right.
between interaction between a parent and a child.
As Karen said, the visitation is at our
And
discretion.
it's not, I understand that.
Okay,
I understand that.
and we're advising you, and we've talked about this before, what's appropriate during your visit.
So some things can be upsetting to her and that's acceptable to you, yet other things can be upsetting to her that's not acceptable to you, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you think there might be a conflict of interest, perhaps, that you're being sued by me as well as by my daughter, and you're interfering with me consulting with her about the lawsuit?
If you believe that, then you can bring a petition to family court. You have that perfect right. It's our discretion right now.
This is out of family court. This is in federal court now.
I'm not speaking of any lawsuit. I'm speaking of our order of protection states we have a discretion to supervise, unsupervise, or monitor your visit.
I understand.
We've, in our discretion, decided that it's too upsetting for your daughter to hear about
her own lawsuit.
Yes, yes, that is our decision.
Well, I didn't hear your answer to my question, though. Do you think there is a conflict of interest in you telling me that I can't speak about a lawsuit with my co-plaintiff, who's suing the institution as well as Ms. Waltman, and really is involved in it and is actually a victim in it? You don't think there's a conflict of interest?
No, I'm not discussing the lawsuit at all. It's nothing to do with any conflict of interest. It has to do with you bringing up adult content.
But you...
I'm specifically addressing the lawsuit. However, I've read that there have been many other instances where you've discussed adult content with your daughter. So what I'm saying is...
Adult content? What is adult content? Pornography?
The family court. We've talked about
well,
this
I know,
over
but she is being indeterminate. You're saying adult matters. You know, that to me it sounds like pornography. I'm not talking pornography with her. I'm just talking about our visits, our life together in the past, what's happening. No, it's not, according to Ms. Waltman.
No, I didn't say you couldn't talk about
She
the
did.
past.
She sent me a letter saying I couldn't talk about the past or the future, only the here and now. That's all I was allowed to talk about.
However you would determine that to be. That would involve what did you have for breakfast? Did you see any good movies lately? How's school going? Do you have any friends? What are their names?
Right.
Do you remember
not our
when my
life,
birthday is
not our
coming
life
up?
before or our future together.
No promises should be made to her about your
No
coming home
promises.
in a certain period of time.
No promises.
Or I've gone to court, so all these people here that have wronged us will be going to court to tell the judge, and we're going to...
Well, those aren't things that I spoke about. Those are...
and I don't know specifically what you discussed.
Well, we discussed what it would be like when she comes and visits me again, and we get back together again.
Well, and that might be in a 9-year-old mind. Oh, so I'm going back with Dad.
You know, interaction between a father and his daughter, it's possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible.
But on the possibility that might happen, that doesn't mean that you have to nip off every possible line of conversation and communication between a parent and a child.
Okay, so how about if whoever's supervising believes that you're starting to discuss adult matters that might be
I wish you'd be
upsetting to
specific
her?
when you say adult matters.
You know,
Adult matters
you're an
means
intelligent
sex
guy.
and pornography. That's what adult matters are.
No, adult matters means something that a 9-year-old can't grasp and understand and can't process.
Okay.
That would be a lawsuit that Daddy's filed against.
Of course.
the
So
department.
you say.
So,
But you
and
know,
that's our opinion,
but
okay?
I have discussed lawsuits before this ever happened, before these petitions ever happened. I've told her about these things. We've discussed these things before. She actually told me she likes talking about these things. She told me it in the last visit. She said, "But Daddy, I love talking about that. They just told me that if we talk about it, I'm not going to be able to see you anymore." So that's a threat to her by this institution.
Well, I'm sorry that was said to you by your daughter then. I'm certain it was not said to her by us.
Well, I'm not so certain because she's told me that before.
And I'm sorry that you heard that.
Okay,
So,
but you know what, I think that's going back to what you're suing us for, so that will be
So I
addressed
wanna-
later on. What we're saying right now is, Gary, we are telling you not to discuss the lawsuit. We are specifically saying do not bring that up with Anya or family court matters, okay? this has been discussed, with Karen and I, and if you do this in the, visit, we have the right to end the visit.
And not let me have any more
Not-
visits.
Not
No,
like
that
you had
day-
that day.
You'd be given, you know, a warning that, okay, Mr. Tristan, remember, you weren't gonna discuss that. Okay? And then you move on to something else. If you bring it back around to that again, we would have the right to say, the visit is over now, and you'll see your daddy next week.
I see. So even though my daughter wants to speak with me about the lawsuit, and I want to speak to her about the lawsuit, and she's really interested in about the Constitution and how law works and how procedures work in court. This is just normal teaching, actually,
Well, how about if she
between
brings up the
myself and my
Constitution?
daughter, okay? And you're telling me I can't talk to my daughter about the American legal system or the Constitution.
I never said
We
that.
never
Yes, you
said
did.
that.
Those are legal matters, and they're directly related to this
Your
lawsuit.
Your
This lawsuit's based on constitutional
Then
principles.
it must be done in a general sense, and then you should bring the U.S. Constitution with you, and you guys can go over that A to Z
Oh, really?
if you wish. If it's gonna be discussing specifically that you are suing
I'm not
anyone-
suing alone. She's a co-plaintiff.
You
Her
mean
name
you
is
in
on the
court.
lawsuit.
Yes,
She's getting counsel already from the court.
and that's where it needs to stay, is with her counsel in the court.
It needs to stay between co-plaintiffs as well.
Okay, you need to talk to an attorney, and you need to talk to her attorney, okay? And we're not gonna keep going round and round
Her
about
attorney's been
this.
recused. She's being
It
sued as
doesn't-
well.
I'm not saying anything about attorneys, I'm saying you should contact
You said her attorney.
your daughter's attorney.
Right.
Her, meaning your
Her daughter's attorney is being sued as well,
Okay.
and is going to be
Whoever that
recused.
person would be, that's who you should contact. At this moment, our discretion is, you are not to discuss the lawsuit or any family court matters which you supervising your visit.
Otherwise,
If
you'll
you-
stop the visits.
We would give you one warning, and then if you bring it up again,
Uh-huh.
our discretion is we would end the visit
That visit.
for the rest of the day,
Uh-huh.
and then you can come back again. If you don't agree with that, you have the right to go to family court.
Family court again. What's this family court nonsense?
That's all you
This
have
is a
right
family
now.
court
So
order.
you don't have anything in any other court at this point.
But
You're
the
waiting
family
for-
court has nothing to do with the
The
lawsuit.
family court has issued your order of protection and your order of disposition according to your ACD that you took.
That's true.
That's under a family court
Nothing in there
order.
says we can't talk about court matters.
It
Says
says it's
discretion of
discretion
DSS,
of DSS.
supervised. And under supervised means
So-
that we have the right to make comments and suggestions and recommendations.
Okay, and so your discretion is, I cannot have a conversation with my daughter about court matters or our common
Your
lawsuit?
court matters.
No, our court
Your-
matters.
Your in general, the plural sense.
Okay.
You cannot discuss about the
This is not just my lawsuit.
you
This is
and
my
your
daughter's
daughter
lawsuit
have
as well.
filed. You cannot discuss your daughter and your lawsuit that you filed, or a family court matter.
I didn't quite understand that. Let me just reiterate if I understand correctly. I'm not supposed to talk with my daughter, a plaintiff, in this lawsuit about the lawsuit or what's
Your
in it,
lawsuit. Yes,
During your
that is correct.
visitation here.
or what's in it.
That is correct.
When you say your lawsuit, what do you mean? My
Yours-
lawsuit or our
yours-
lawsuit?
Yours in the plural sense. Your daughter's and yours
Okay,
lawsuits.
that's what I'm trying to
Not
understand.
discuss.
So we're not supposed to discuss the content of the lawsuit that we're both suing this institution
Yes,
for?
that is correct.
And if we do, you'll stop the visit?
No, you will be given a warning.
Oh, to be given a warning, and if I continue to do it, then you'll stop the visit?
Then we will say the visit is over, because it's our discretion.
Okay. You
And
did
you have plenty to talk
contact
about.
your own attorneys on this, right?
I don't need to discuss that.
Okay.
If we have discretion under the order of protection to supervise your visit.
Okay.
You have plenty of other things to talk about.
No, we don't have plenty of other things. If the only thing we're supposed to talk about is the here and now, what's in front of us, we're not supposed to talk about our future, we're not supposed to talk about our past. There's not a lot to talk about. But that's not the point. The point is, I consider it constitutionally privileged to be able to discuss court matters with one's own daughter about a lawsuit that we're both in on against the institution.
That would have to be done in another venue.
And being the recipient of this lawsuit, you're telling me, no, you can't consult with your daughter about the lawsuit that you're being sued with.
Then you need to have legal counsel with you, I assume.
That's a conflict of interest, as far as I'm concerned.
Then you need to file some kind of petition.
I'm going to file some kind of petition.
That's fine. So when do you have your next visit?
I believe it's Wednesday. Tomorrow. Yeah.
The visits do start at 3:30, I want to remind you of that.
Yeah. I was here last time at 3:30.
I believe you were late, she
Well,
was
about
looking out the window.
5 minutes late.
15 minutes, you know. So, just try, you know, she sits at the window and stares out the window looking for you to come, so it's a little stressful for her.
Well, I try to make it as fast as I can, and I'm usually here even 3 minutes beforehand. On some occasions, I'm...
You can come even early, I mean, you don't have to come.
Oh, okay.
If you want to be here, that's fine also.
Well, I try to make it as soon as I can. Sometimes there's traffic or something that stopped me.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Well, I understand your position, and I hope you understand mine.
I absolutely do. I'm saying, but we're just talking about the visit. So legal thing, we're not attorneys, and, you know, we can't discuss any of that, just your contact with your daughter and...
Also, I need to get your name down. Thank you. What is your name?
Karen, K-A-R-I-N.
Karen, huh? Uh-huh.
Hubbs, H-U-B-B-S. I'm a case supervisor, grade B, is my title, in preventive.
Grade B, huh? Okay. And that's your full title, and that's your name?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
And preventive unit.
Oh. Preventive or preventative?
Either is fine, I say preventive.
Okay.
Okay. And then, we got this Allensville,
Tomorrow, I believe.
All right. It's been nice speaking with you.